I hope that the quality of this video is okay and that it reaches the classes of my friend Rajesh Patil in India, in Buldana, just as many of the stamps and coins and other objects from Switzerland have found your class. Let me thank you again for your warm tribute with your own YouTube video, and hope that in a way this short video can introduce me to you and some of your classmates and some of your friends in and around the school. A little bit about myself. I was born in New York City on April 29th, 1954. My mother was a social worker who worked in hospitals helping people when they were sick. And my father, after the war, when he was a military officer, worked in the sugar business. He was very fond of India and went 2 or 3 or 4 times to places like Bombay and Calcutta, and he very much liked studying the history of India and thinking about the places and the people that have made Indian culture. In Switzerland, which is where you know I live, I have 4 children. They're grown up and not living in the house anymore, to our regret, but my wife is here and we have 2 cats. And what are the things that I like to do? Well, I like to ride my bicycle. I very much like to read and to write my own books. And for the classes in India, and for you in particular, I like to collect coins and stamps and old currency notes from places when I've been traveling. So that gives me pleasure that you're able to learn about the history of the world by looking at coins, by looking at stamps, by looking at old currency notes. I think your teacher, Rajesh, is to be applauded for having such a visionary view of how to educate and inspire a generation of students. It's my hope someday to come to India to visit you and your school, and perhaps visit your homes and meet your mother and your father and your brothers and sisters, and get to know a little bit about your classes there in India, and to know about what it is that you particularly like when you're studying. I think at this time it's a difficult time in the world, but it's always a difficult time in the world. I think the important thing is to remain firm to your family, to your studies, to your school, to your teachers, to your brothers and sisters, to your friends. That's an important element that you can do at a difficult time, and to keep studying and to keep helping other people. I think those are important traits. I know you have stamps from around the world that allow you to dream, and I use the stamps in my life when I can't really go anywhere at this point, as you can't go anywhere, to dream about places in the world that I might like to visit. If I did come to India, what would I do? Well, I'd fly into Mumbai, probably, perhaps Delhi, but I think Mumbai, and take the train somewhere close to you, and then perhaps be picked up in a car or take a bus and come to your classrooms. I have to warn you that I very much like riding my bicycle, and if I could bring my little folding bike with me on the trip, it would be a great pleasure for me to be able to ride a bicycle to your school. Well, I hope this little short video has given you an introduction to me, just as the many photographs and recordings that your teacher and professor has sent to me about your classroom. For me, it's inspiring to know that you're taking to heart so much of what he's trying to teach you in your classes. I know it isn't always easy to be a teenager, to be growing up, to be thinking about kind of the world at this time, and to see what you're going to do after your classes. Maybe you go to college, maybe you have a job, maybe you do something else. That would all be worthwhile. But whatever you do, do it with enthusiasm, the same enthusiasm that your teacher brings to his classes. That's all that I will say today. So once again, I'll tell you my full name, which is Matthew Mills Stevenson. And it's a great pleasure, even on this video, to be able to send you this message. Thank you, and keep studying.